Hi, welcome to the Best of Mt Shasta. I'm Andrée Morgana, and I started the Best of Mt Shasta in 2008. And through the years, I've found that people have had a lot of questions about it. So this particular show will be telling you all about how it started, why it's still continuing, what we offer, of what value do we have. And I'll just use myself as an example because I find that how the foundation for the Best of Mt Shasta began was years earlier in our country. And back in the 1960s, there's a lot of turmoil, a lot of people, young people were getting involved in all kinds of things. And my husband and I went off to India to become teachers of the Transcendental Meditation. And at that time, that was considered quite abnormal, and people's eyes would kind of raise. You're going where to do what? And we chose to come back to Cambridge, Massachusetts to teach TM. And during those years, 800 people a month were starting. There was just a lot of interest, a lot of activity. I was in my mid-20s, and one of the first people I started was the head of Harvard Medical School. So everybody was investigating this new phenomena that had kind of started to grow in our country, and all kinds of meditation programs were available. And fortunately, the organization that I was with began to do scientific research on the benefits of meditation right away. Today, they have 800 peer-reviewed articles in magazines on the benefits. So it's been well researched, and it's been brought into the field of science and has been accepted by science. And that's part of what helped take it away from the New Age idea that people were so against and the woo-woo aspect of it. And now it's just famous people are starting it, and all of that kind of stuff is going on. But what happened was after teaching thousands of people to meditate and traveling around the country and going abroad to help teacher training courses, it was really a fun time for us. For 25 years, I was involved with that organization. But then in the early or sort of mid-1980s, my mother became sick, and so I went back to home to be with her for the last 2 years of her life. And I was very happy that I did that, by the way. Anybody has parents who are getting older, that's important to consider, but that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to say how fortunate I was to have done that. And it was during that time that I started hearing about Mt Shasta and hearing that it was a spiritual phenomenon, a spiritual place where thousands of people from all over the world every year were coming there. So I wanted to see what that was about, and I had the time on my hands to do that. So every year for another, actually I think it was 30 years, I started coming once a month up to, once a year up to Mt Shasta. And my best friend lives in Redding, and so I would stay with her sometimes and then spend the weekend in Mt Shasta. And I just entered it the way most people probably come to Mt Shasta. I didn't know anything about it. I had heard about it. I'd heard about this amazing mountain, so I went up to the mountain and would just meditate. And then there was a bookstore at that time in downtown Mt Shasta called Golden Bough Bookstore. And so I went in there and found that they had all these books about Mt Shasta and everything related to Mt Shasta, and they would let people stay there and read the books. So I did do that, and as well as buying a book each time. And I found that the first book I bought was Unveiled Mysteries by Guy Ballard, who had met Saint Germain in the person on the mountain in the 1930s. So I thought, okay, this is exciting. I'm going to read these books. And so I took the first book up to the mountain, and I just was sitting there very innocently. I opened up the book, and I tell you that this is the truth. It just, all this light came out of the book. And I thought, whoa, that's pretty amazing. I'd never had that experience before. And as I continued to read the book for that period of time, while I was sitting there on the mountain reading the book, that was what was happening. This light was just surrounding me. So I knew, this is what people are talking about. There's something here, and I want to know more about it. I had also heard about, through the Golden Bough bookstore, about Dhamma and Telos and Lemuria. So I thought, okay, that's interesting. And again, it was, didn't happen right away. I had many trips before to Mt Shasta. And one time I was just sitting there on the mountain meditating, just doing my regular meditation, and then all of a sudden I saw this cave open up inside me, and it opened up into this lighter area. And then these beings that were dressed in these gowns came forward and said, "Would you like to see Telos?" Well, I'd heard about it and said, yes, I would, but I didn't want to get stuck in Telos underneath the earth and not get home again. But I did go, and then it opened up to this beautiful horizon of just nature like you've never seen it, so happy and glowing. The water so pristine, the sky so beautiful, the sun so beautiful. It really was spectacular. And that's where these people live. And on subsequent visits to the mountain, I would have more experiences. So I got to know firsthand that there is a reality that exists that we don't know about when we live in a metropolitan area, or we're dealing with our day-to-day life with our family, our friends, our business, whatever, that exists here in Mount Shasta that is drawing people from all over the world. And I went on through those years that I came up here to have really amazing experiences. So I really got the profundity of this reality that this mountain has the ability to expand your awareness so you can see more of the spiritual realms that exist within our galaxy and within our universe and beyond. So fast forward to 2008, I moved up to Mount Shasta. And what happened in the first couple of months that I was here, I realized I don't know anybody here. All those years I'd come here, I was focused on having an internal experience that would help me to know myself better, bring peace of mind, bring relaxation, anything you can think of that would enhance one's life. I was looking for that. And yet when I moved up here, I didn't know anybody. And then I realized, well, that's how it is for everybody else who's coming from all over the world. They're focused on an inward experience. And so they just do that. And if at most they go afterwards down to the downtown area, have a bite to eat, check out the crystal stores, and then go home again. And that's about it. So I realized, okay, other people are having the same experience I'm having. And so if I start an event, then I could help them to meet the local people. Because at that time, I was starting to meet the local people, and I realized it's phenomenal what's happening up here. The people are having amazing experiences on a regular basis. They don't think much about it. And then there's a whole part of the county that is oblivious to it all. So I thought, well, this is an interesting dynamic right there. And then the other thing that was of interest to me was, how do people make money up here? Because here I'd moved here. I'd been a spiritual teacher since the 60s. And what am I going to do to sustain myself? So I realized they either have a partner or a husband or a wife that pay the bills, or they go out of the area back to where they came from to continue their teaching, or they become poor. So I thought, this is a disconnect. I felt it passionately, because I realized this is probably what's going to happen to me too. So I started the Best of Mount Shasta Conference and Festival, and we had 30 to 60 presenters every year. It went from 2008 every summer until 2017. We had 30 to 60 presenters, all from the local area, representing native healing, health and wellness, self-discovery, and our environment. So people got an overview of what exists here in Siskiyou County, which is where Mount Shasta is located. And so they could meet with the people and they could talk with them. They made friends so that when they came back to Mount Shasta, it wasn't like I was, where I didn't know anybody here. They now had people to know so that they could come back and talk with them and be with them, and usually stay with them while they were in Mount Shasta. So something was happening that was really good in that way. We also had an outdoor festival with about 50 vendors, food and celebration. So it really worked well for that period of time. Then what happened was it became smaller and smaller because I didn't have the finances. I never took a salary, but I didn't have the finances after a while to put into it. So there wasn't the advertising. But even though it became smaller, that's when people really got to know one another. So something good was happening there. And what happened that each year from that point on, people were starting to not only come up here again and again, but actually started moving up here. So it started to, just in little ways, improve the economic development of this area, and also give the people who live here a wider audience to show them what they're experiencing by virtue of living here. And even for myself, I found, as a medium, I was in the Bay Area helping people with their problems. But when I came up here, just that connection that I have with cosmic souls out beyond our galaxy, another woo-woo experience for my family, was that they started to change what they were doing. Instead of just addressing people's day-to-day problems, they were starting to develop a meditation that could show people how to expand their awareness beyond our Earth into our galaxy, and how to expand our awareness beyond our galaxy into the universe, and then how to expand our awareness beyond the universe and come back to original source in that way, where you're completely free of all boundaries. Your awareness is so expanded, it's unbounded, it's eternal, and that's our reality. And I never, I'd been working with, I think I started in Brazil, going down there every year for 12 years in 1996. So I'd been working with these cosmic souls for that period of time. It was only when I came to Mount Shasta that they changed their teaching. And it's a revolutionary teaching. It's taking consciousness. People say we are the universe in the consciousness movement. And I say, no, we're not, that our awareness is larger than the universe, and we came from that original source that the universe came from. So all kinds of different teachings are happening here, and it's a remarkable period of time to visit Mount Shasta and to see what people have to offer. And it's a very simple community. It's not like living in the Bay Area where thousands of people attend events, and, there's just a lot more affluence down there. This is a very, very simple way of life up here. When I first moved up here, I had a person who was delivering me wood, and we got to talking, and I said to him, how many cords of wood do you cut a year? And he said, 135. I said, 135? He said, I just have to be out in nature. And that's everybody in this area, whether they believe in spirituality, don't believe in it, believe in this religion, don't believe in it, believe in that religion, and don't believe in whatever. Whenever you talk to people, there's a silence that they experience inside that's very profound and very alive. And they all feel a connection to the mountain in some way. It's really something remarkable. And I think that it would behoove science to come up here and explore it, and not be, there aren't these spiritual realms, this can't be happening. Because if those scientists start to enter into it on the level of their own personal experience, they'll be the ones that can go back into the lab and find out, and the drawing board, and find out how to explain it to other people. And I always was aware of, when I was reading about Einstein, that he would have these, if you listen to what he was saying about when he would discover something, he would have these experiences of seeing into the universe and watching a phenomena occur. Then he would go back to the lab and try to explain it to other people. But what he had was a quality of awareness that the people around him at that time didn't have. And I could see it very clearly, because he was talking about seeing this phenomena that nobody else was seeing. And that's just simply expanding your awareness, expanding your understanding, and to see more and more. So this area is really vibrant in that aspect. And there's a quality of peacefulness here. There's a quality of richness here, but it doesn't have anything to do with that money world. It's just the people are very simple here. The homes are much more simple than you would find where I had come from, Tiburon and Belvedere down in Marin County. Everything is just very, very simple here. And I think that's where our country needs to get back to. And people all over the world are trying to find that peacefulness again, trying to find that stability in their lives, and get rid of all the negativity and all the issues that are the ups and downs that are going on around us. So that's what I wanted to tell you about. The best of Mount Shasta is an opportunity to meet what's happening here in this wonderful, wonderful area where the sky is blue, the mountain is beautiful with snow on it, the nature places. There's the Pacific Trail Association has they opened up their starting of the making it available to people here in Mount Shasta, and there's just so much that you can do here. No matter if you're interested in the spiritual or not, you can come for rest and relaxation. But if you are interested in the spiritual, we're right on the forefront of new knowledge of things to come that the world is yet to see, really. And it all started, it started with St. Germain in the 30s. It started at the turn of the century up here. You read stories of people having spiritual experiences. It's a remarkable area, and it needs to be understood better. And it also needs to be supported better for the teachers who choose to live here. There's one thing I'll just say in closing that just hurts my heart, is to see, especially women, come up here. And they're so excited. They've moved up here, and they've been teaching whatever they've been teaching for a long, long time, and they just want to be in this community. They feel the spirit of it. They feel the joy of it. And they last about 1 or 2 or 3 months, and then they can't afford to stay here, and they leave. It just breaks my heart, because they come up here with a full heart, and they come up here wanting to be part of the community. So I really want to grow this phenomena of the best of Mount Shasta. I'm not doing the conference and festivals at the moment because there isn't the financial resources to do it. Whoever hears this, if you're that kind of person that can help us step forward, please. But what we're doing now is we're interviewing the teachers in the area. And I'm just starting to put it on Facebook. And that's where it'll begin. And then we'll put it on our website, which actually got hacked, so we had to regrow the website again. And then on Pinterest, Instagram, and YouTube, and so on. So that you'll be able to, if you can't come to Mount Shasta, you'll be able to listen to what the teachers are saying. And then eventually, we want to have courses on our website so that you can take courses from these teachers in the comfort of your own home. And so if you can help us in any way, that would be terrific, because just coming up here, and come up here 2 or 3 times like that and get to know the people, and do your solo journey on the mountain, and just walking through nature here, and just feel the place. It's really just remarkable. We've got people that are not only, into the crystal bowls, but they're creating crystal bowls that haven't been created yet, and they understand the living consciousness within those bowls. It's not like when you go to because if you come up here, you end up in one or another of the crystal rooms. It's not like you're just looking at an object, but that object has a life in it. And those people that run those stores, they see that, they understand that. So again, that's new knowledge for science to start investigating. How can all of this nature have living consciousness? But even the people that don't believe in the spirituality, they just want to come here and ski, they're up on the mountains where it's just silent, and they're feeling that. They're feeling the majesty of the mountain. And that's the living consciousness of the mountain. It's not an accident. The mountain has awareness. It has full consciousness. It's a being like we're beings. And I know even for people watching this, it may be a little on the woo-woo side, but come up and talk to people, have that experience. And that was the one thing I noticed when people living here would hear the new people talking about Tellus, and the people living would say, Tellus, it doesn't exist. Well, all you have to do is just go to a person who knows all about Telos and ask them, show me what you see. Tell me how you can see Tellus. They'll start seeing Telos. It's just as simple as that. So come and explore this area, be part of our community, see what we see, and go back to your lives feeling refreshed and enjoying your life much, much more. And it's very good for health as well. Thank you so much for joining us today. Look forward to seeing you in the future. Thank you again.